Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, everything that I say in reaction to these shows is completely speculative based on very little information. Keep that in mind. Let's watch.
I start talking to like 2 weeks, then I start talking to that lady. But if you can remember, when I started talking to you, it wasn't a relationship. It wasn't any feeling. It's
so
just
what are you saying right now? What are you trying to tell me
I'm just telling you for you to know because I don't want you to know.
But why are you telling me this now? Like, why ruin my day?
I'm not ruining it. I'm just being honest.
Okay, so Usman is saying, I just want to come clean that after you and I started talking, and remember, we weren't in a relationship at that point. We were just kind of talking a couple of weeks later. I think he's saying was romantic or physical with this woman, Zara. And he just wants to be honest with her. I don't know if Kimberly cares. I'm pretty sure Kimberly knows that he has been with other women and also was dating other women at the time, or at least imagine perhaps so. She literally even said earlier in the season that she was okay with him marrying other women. So I don't know if she still feels that way or if this... So I'm guessing for her, she's like, I don't know. Why are you telling me this? What's happened? I think at what she's being told thus far, she's fine with. And she's like, but I think what he's going to tell her is, I have a song and a video that's all about her that's going to be released. And I just don't want you to get upset. I think that's why he's telling her.
Is there anything wrong for me telling you the secret that you don't know?
Yeah, there's something to tell me. Yeah, I tell you everything. How dare you keep a secret from me? Seriously.
Because then we were not in a relationship.
It doesn't matter. Why didn't you tell me?
No, it does.
And I've been loyal this whole time.
Okay, so from the way she's talking, it seems as though in the beginning phases, she felt like at the very least they had a relationship where they would be honest and upfront about these kinds of issues. And she's saying, I was honest and upfront with you, and I thought you were going to be honest and upfront with me. And I think he's saying, well, yeah, but not about some things. And I think this is why it's important, you know, who knows, I'm guessing Kimberly might be mistaken about or was reading into things in the beginning, who knows, but maybe not. But we're going to use this as a jumping off point, and y'all out there, when you're dating, it's important to be honest. It's important to tell people up front. If you've ever been the victim of not being told something, you know how it feels to suddenly realize, oh, wait, we didn't talk directly about being exclusive, but I just thought that we were. Wait, you're having sex with other people? What? And all it takes is just to tell something. So just let you know, by the way, you and I are getting serious, but we're still not exclusive, by the way. I don't know if I want to get into specifics about other things, but just let you know, like, this isn't an exclusive situation yet. So, just have that conversation. And if someone else doesn't like that, then, they'll bounce. Or you can, if this is a deal breaker for your partner, it's time to make a choice. So it sounds like for Kimberly, she was under the wrong impression. Could we imagine that Kimberly invented something that didn't seem very rational? Could we imagine Usman not telling her the whole thing? I don't know. Of the things that we could criticize Usman about, I don't know if deception is one of them. So let's see if they clarify.
Are you kidding me?
That's why I'm telling you. We are not in a relationship. I need to tell you now because if you know it now...
But you're telling me now, but I've been loyal this whole time. You're making me look like a fool, yo.
I mean, unless she has something else to say that would convince us that she's not being irrational right now, I'm going to think she's being irrational. She's like, I was loyal to you and you're making me look like a fool. No, but the way Kimberly talked in the beginning of the season, it seemed as though she was under the very clear impression that they were in a romantic and soon-to-be sexual relationship as soon as she got off the plane. Usman, as soon as she got off the plane, was clear that we're not in a relationship. She's a friend and maybe a partner. Let's see how things go. And we could understand that, right? People have been commenting, actually, that it would make total sense that if we take Usman at his word, which we don't know, but that he would rationally be very skeptical and afraid to rush into a relationship with yet another American without vetting that person because of how horrible the situation went with Lisa, right? And there were things that happened obviously off camera that were perhaps even worse. I think there's rumors that they were worse. And so he wanted to take it slow. He wanted to make sure. And I think Kimberly did pass some tests, and that she wasn't triggered. Her jealousy wasn't triggered when she saw him working and, that kind of stuff. But there were some other things. Anyway, point is that she's now saying that he essentially cheated on her or lied to her about, and I think he's saying, I don't think we were just talk. It was 2 weeks into our talking relationship online. And just to let you know, I was talking with another dozen other women, by the way, for a while after that. And yeah, you and I were flirting. And yeah, I guess you were loyal to me, which is nice, but I never asked you for that. And you never asked if I was going to be exclusive to you. So I'm sorry there was a misunderstanding. I'm guessing that's what's happened. Let's see how they talk about it.
When I bought the EP and I asked you who Zara was, you did not tell me Zara was somebody you were dating. You told me Zara was just a name you picked out for all the women across the world. But I never knew that you were dating this girl back then.
Okay, well, that sounds like a lie. Because I think that's why Usman's even bringing this up right now. So he could have been. So if I take back what I said, because that does sound credible, what Kimberly is saying. And yeah, that's a lie. And yeah, uncool. On the scale of things, though, because at the time they weren't in a relationship by most people's definition, but lying isn't okay. He could have just told her the truth. I don't think Kimberly would have not continued to talk to him because of that. Or he could have just said something. And this is what I tell people. It's not a question of truth versus lying, telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth and lying. You can tell someone, I don't want to answer that question. You and I are 2 weeks into whatever this is, online communication, and I'm having a great time with you, but there's some things about my life I just want to be private about for now. So I don't want to get into that. I'll tell you later, but I don't want to get to it. It's nothing that's going to harm you or anything. I'll definitely tell you at a later point, or you just sort of give the impression like there are some things that are just, you go on a first date and someone asks you an extremely personal question, like, tell me all of your relational traumas. It's not a question between telling the whole truth and lying. You can absolutely say, oh, well, that's a personal question. I don't know if I want to get into that right now. I appreciate the question though, but let's talk about something else. Or you could just be like, wow, that's a big question. Huh. Well, I don't know, lots of things. Things I don't really want to think about right now. How's the asparagus? There's lots of ways. There's a lot of different options. The reason why I say this is because a lot of the people on the show, and maybe in life, because they feel like it's an invasion of their privacy or it's too risky to tell the truth, they just lie. They just make something else up. And I'm like, there's another option there.
I was in a relationship with Zara, but she broke up with me. I was hurt, honestly, because I truly loved that girl.
When did you end it with her?
About 4 months now. So, what are you saying?
Wow, 4 months ago?
That's when I released the EP.
We've been talking for a year. That's crazy as hell.
All right, so that's even more involved than what he was saying earlier, because in at least the way they edited it, he's like, so they've been talking for a year. He's saying, a year ago, just 2 weeks after we started chatting, I started chatting with Zara. It was this short little thing. Now it sounds like it was a very involved relationship for months. He was totally in love. She broke up with him all the while. So that sounds like a much more rational place for Kimberly. It sounds like, I don't know, it could have been 8 months of Kimberly feeling like, at the very least, he would tell her if he was in love with someone. And then you have to wonder, well, wait, you were flirting with me while you were in love with someone. Usman has talked about how he is someone who marries multiple people. So how does that fit into the equation? But at the very least, Usman, it sounds like, wasn't telling the whole truth. He was omitting something to Kimberly. So yeah, if that's true, then she has every reason to be upset about that.
Because I thought I was the one that was like repairing his heart, okay?
You
and
did.
his trust. But during this time that I was putting this work in, he's dating a whole nother chick.
Okay, so she's saying that I thought I was the one repairing him from the hurt. And he says, yeah, you did. From I think Lisa or the other woman that we saw a picture of, the other American woman that it didn't work out with. And so I thought that I was repairing. And Usman's saying, yeah, you did. And that's a pretty big omission of a detail that's important to say of your life, Usman, right? Now, Usman could have said, I'm falling in love with someone, but I'm the sort of person that marries multiple people. Do you want to continue flirting? And Zara, I'm flirting with this. You can be, again, there's this other option. You don't have to live the life the way that you want and lie about it or deny yourself. You can actually just be upfront. I'm going to take a guess and say that Kimberly still would have been cool with that. She has already said she's okay with him marrying other people. Whether or not that's actually true or not, we don't know. But yeah. So I take back what I said earlier about Kimberly. It sounds like what she's upset about makes sense.
Oh, best. I feel stupid. I feel stupid I even came down here. That's how I feel.
Yeah. If I understand the situation right, then that makes sense. And if Usman really wants a relationship with Kimberly, he should apologize and give some reasons as to why he lied to her by omission, what was going on there. I could see a scenario where he could say, look, we were flirting online, but I think you were reading into it. I don't blame you for that, but I think now hearing you talk, you were reading into it more than I was reading into it. I was flirting, and I liked your support for sure, but I wasn't as into you as you were into me. I'm now into you, but at the time I wasn't, and that doesn't excuse the fact that I left that important detail out. But I think at the time I didn't really feel like our relationship would ever get to that point where it was important that I tell you about those things. I don't know. Or he is just a shady individual who likes to play people. I don't know.
We spent so much time texting. We spent so much time video chatting. And if I would have known that he was in a full-blown relationship and fell in love with this woman enough to write a song about her, I would have been like, bye. Like, what are you doing right now? I would have never, ever, ever in a million years tried to pursue somebody that was in a relationship.
All right, well, that's different than what she said earlier. I mean, it's a different variation on the situation because she's saying, I don't want to pursue a relationship with someone that's already in a relationship. Okay, I think that's pretty common. Earlier, she said she wouldn't mind if she got married to Usman if he married someone else. Did I just make that up in my head, or did she actually say that? Or was that just a rumor or something? I don't know. Anyway, but okay, she's saying that. Now, I could see a scenario where for Usman, he is flirting with a lot of people online, and he's not lying necessarily. I mean, I don't know. This is just me speculating. This is me giving a possible scenario. It's also possible this isn't true, but where he is fielding a lot of DMs from a lot of women all over the world, and he is playing along with flirtation, even though in his mind he doesn't plan on pursuing any kind of actual relationship with any of these people. He might even consider it to be a marketing move. I don't know. And he, at some point with Kimberly, starts to realize, oh, she's actually not just a fan that I'm interacting with online. She actually makes me feel better about things emotionally. And so I'm going to continue to talk with her. And then Kimberly is over there going, oh my God, because, she's had this attitude before. Oh my God, Usman, Soulja Boy, King Africa is talking to me. And I'm so excited, and I'm all aflutter. She's talked this way. And she starts to say, oh my God, I'm so in love with you, heart, heart, heart. And then well, in that instance, so I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't know. And I'm guessing, so Usman should have said, given what we're learning now, hey, Kimberly, I love that you're a friend, and I love that you are supporting me, and I still want to, and I, at the beginning, you were a super fan, and now you're actually a full-blown friend. I want to continue this, but I have to tell you that I'm dating other people, and I don't know if that affects you or anything, but I should just tell you, it sounds like that's what didn't happen.
I was cheated on, and I would never do that to anybody else. I'm worried now that he might do the same thing to me that he did to Zara, and I will not allow myself to be cheated on.
Now, the other scenario, given the way Kimberly talks, is that she was completely inventing something in her mind that didn't actually exist, or at least, 80% of the deception was her own fault. And it was a lot of wishful thinking and a lot of assumptions and a lot of ignoring of the signs that you're not the only one that he's talking to. I don't know, but we could see that at least being a factor. But at the very least, months and months of communication while Usman's in another relationship where Kimberly, I'm pretty sure, is sending a lot of heart emojis and a lot of, oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, I can't wait to see you. Clear indications, if not just flat out literal statements of romantic intention. At some point, Usman should have alerted her, and it sounds like that never happened.
Oh my God.
Kimberly, this shouldn't be a wrong thing, I think.
It is a wrong thing, Usman. You told me you love me, and now you're gonna tell me about some bitch? Get the out of here, yo. I wanna go back to the hotel, and then I'm gonna make my travel arrangements to go home.
Okay, she's saying, you told me you loved me. Now, when did that happen? But from Kimberly's statement, it sounds like she's saying that happened while you were with Zara. Now, we understand that Usman is open to being in love with multiple people and marrying multiple people. So, and Kimberly 100% knew that before even communicated with Usman, because I think she watched the show. So now that doesn't mean you can lie. And that's actually a misconception about open relationships or polyamory, is that it just validates cheating, which is totally untrue. Polyamorous couples are actually well known for advocating and practicing a lot of communication and consent prior to activity. In fact, one could argue that polyamorous and open, ethical, open relationships are much less likely to experience any kind of infidelity or deception, because you can talk about it beforehand and you can adjust to it and you can get permission, or you could say, I'm not comfortable with that. That's kind of a deal breaker for me. So I will say that. But anyway, so I'm not saying that just because she knew that he was open to other marriages that somehow allows him to deceive her. Now, there's a world in which Usman could mitigate some of this, at least in my mind, if he gave some context and just said, some of the things I was saying earlier. Let's see if he can do that.
Down here to watch you do a video about another bitch. Like, that's crazy, yo. That is so crazy.
Initially, I sang a song for her, but we're no longer together. And that doesn't mean
then why would you bring that up to me just now? That's what I don't understand.
We are in a relationship
right
now.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay.
I love you, right?
Yeah, get off me.
Okay. They're upset, and there seems to be some wiggle room there, some flexibility that Kimberly seems to be like, I don't understand why you're telling me this right now. I think she might be thinking this is like the tip of the iceberg, and she's worried about that, or it's triggering something in her of a past conversation. There's every reason to be upset, but I think if it is just this, if we could really just convince her, it is just what it is. It is just what he said. I'm guessing that at least half of the pain would go away for her. It's just a guess. And then, Usman's trying to do is, I think he should talk more. I think he should tell her the context, tell her what he was thinking at the time. Even say something like, I was in love with Zara and I was communicating with you. You were such a good support. And I was kind of into you as well, which, as you know, I'm a person who marries multiple people. It doesn't excuse that I didn't tell you. I should have told you, but all those times that we were talking, I was being genuine. I was real. It was real. I was also in love with someone else. But I'm the sort of person who can love multiple people. You know, it doesn't excuse the lying, but I think it could help if he said something along those lines.
I've been through a lot to get here with Usman. I left my mom. I left everything I know to come here to pursue and see if I'm going to be in a relationship with Usman. And now it's like, what was the point? What truly was the point of me coming?
People on the show will often say things like this. It's like, you know, I gave up so much, and it's like, well, a lot of, you know, but that doesn't mean somehow you deserve more or something. It was just a circumstantial thing that you didn't happen to live in the same town. Plus, you decided to pursue a relationship with someone that created all those inconveniences. So it wasn't like he imposed those on you or something, tricked you into thinking that he lived in your town when he didn't. But she's not, I don't know, she's not really saying that. And it's just kind of now hitting her, I think, about what's really happening, which makes me wonder if she's been operating on a fantasy instead of looking at the clues of the reality. I don't know. We all do this and have all done this in all likelihood in past relationships where we suddenly wake up and go like, whoa, I've been chasing a fantasy. This person provoked a fantasy in me, and I'm now realizing the fantasy ain't real. Uh-oh. I know enough about this show to know that when they have these kind of handheld shots, it's usually because something is happening and developing very quickly without the production crew having a chance to get their lights and cameras set up. And it looks like one of his friends has the laptop. Maybe he's going to return it or something.
After our fight about Zara earlier, Kim texted me and she told me that she can no longer trust me and she wants us to end it.
I was kind of pulling for them in a way. In another way, it's like, Kim, like, there are probably some men in your hometown or at least county that are fully interested in you and would love to date you. Someone who isn't planning on marrying multiple people, doesn't live all the way across the world. Because, you know, the other thing is that I don't think Usman wants to come to the States. So she would have to move out there. And does she really want to do that? I mean, maybe she does. I don't know. Maybe it would be worth it to her if there was love between the two of them. But I think it would just be much more convenient for all involved if both of them just went their separate ways. What do I know? But I'm just telling you my emotional reaction, I guess, when I watch this show. I have a civilian reaction, if you will, and that's that.
I am angry, honestly. Here I thought I was doing the right thing. So I am returning the gift she gave to me because I didn't agree with her behavior. What do you want? Here's my stuff.
And good for him that he's returning the gift, you know, especially since everyone's accusing him of just being, I mean, literally people are accusing him of being in this relationship just so he could get a PS5 and a laptop. So he's just like, you know, if this isn't going to work, if you're going to break up with me, here's the stuff back, you know. No harm, no foul. I don't want any question around my integrity or my intentions here. So, you know, good for him.
No, I don't want the stuff. I don't have any room for it to take back.
How can you look at me and say that?
I'll take the laptop, though.
Please, if you shouldn't give me respect for anything, you should give me respect for that. I always try to make sure that I make you happy.
Do you?
Even if I don't.
Do you?
I don't.
Okay. It's interesting to see Kim reacting. I mean, it does make sense. Of course it makes sense that she was under the impression, whether she was mistakenly, well, he never mentioned it, right? So even if he thought that they were friends and just friends and not romantically involved, the fact that he fell in love and was with someone for months and never mentioned it to Kim, and then Kim finds out later and finds out that the whole song is about her and the video that they've been shooting is about her and that Usman had lied. Look, Zara is just like a general name for a woman, it has nothing to do with an actual person. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I mean, that's gonna throw everything into question. So I get where she's coming from. On the other hand, without knowing more details of like what their communication was like prior to meeting face to face, by the way, I could see a scenario where Usman and his choices make some sense. I don't know. But at the very least, I get how she feels for sure. And I can almost see how Usman feels. He's just like, look, I was nice to you. But he phrases it interesting. It's not like he's, Kim, I love you. Don't leave me. He's like, you have to admit, I was nice to you. I provided a very good, nice service to you. It's like the language there.
It's too much. It's like too much stress. Go back home to my regular life.
And good on her for not getting aggressive and hostile. Maybe she will. But, not particularly. Think about Angela. Think about other people on the show. Even Mike and Natalie, for example. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to go now. And a little bit of arguing, but not getting engaged in some sort of aggression or hostility.
You blaming me for that? Even if you had sex before you come to this Tanzania, I can't blame you because I know that I'm not in a relationship with you. For all the time I've been talking to you, I'm not in love or relationship with you. You are my friend. You are blaming me for the relationship I break up with lady before you even tell me you love me.
Okay. Before you even told me that you loved me. Okay, so that's giving us more context. So according to Usman, while he was with Zara, he and Kim were just friends and had no intention on being in a romantic relationship. That's what Usman is saying. We'll see if Kim refutes that. So on the other hand, so if that is true, and maybe Kim was reading into it, also maybe Kim was fantasizing about, the way a fan does sometimes, and so she was mistaken there. Or she had every reason to believe that there was at least some flirting going on. And she could be upset that, well, even if I was just your friend, you kept it from me and lied to me afterwards. You told me what the song was about when it was actually about a real person, and that hurts.
Who does that? Who?
It's very frustrating that he doesn't understand why I'm upset. I'm not mad at the fact that he was in a relationship. I'm mad at the fact that he did not tell me.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Now, I could see a scenario and I could be convinced if Usman and Kim agreed that it didn't necessarily make sense that he was obligated to tell her at that stage, but Kim believes that he should have told her, and I think there's a good chance that was true.
He was in a relationship. And when I told Usman that I was falling in love with him and that I wasn't dating anybody else, Usman should have made that very clear to me that he was in a relationship, and I would have just backed away.
Okay, so now we're hearing, I keep hearing different things. So she's saying that she said, I'm falling in love with you and I want to be with you and no one else. He was in the middle of a relationship and obviously should have said something at that point. Yeah, okay. So if that's true, Kim has every reason to be hurt and angry and concerned about who he is.
But he did not do that because he's selfish.
And I will commend her for using the word selfish. I feel like the word selfish has been replaced with narcissist by other people, and particularly on the internet, that for some reason the word selfish has fallen, or self-centered has fallen out of favor, or hurtful, or a liar. And it's all been like, I am now diagnosing you with this personality disorder.
Part of me want to stay to work things out, but I can't stop thinking, am I repeating the same mistake I made before?
I mean, no. The way Lisa would have reacted to this, I mean, I can only barely remember because it was so long ago watching that season 2 years ago, but I remember enough about Lisa's behavior that she would react over very little information. You know, like he came home once a little late or something. I can't remember. And she was talking in a fairly abusive manner to him. Kim, on the other hand, just learned that you lied repeatedly about something very important, and she's hurt, and she doesn't want to be with you anymore. She's going home. She's not, you know, running off and expecting you to chase her. She's not being aggressive or hostile. She's just like, okay, I now kind of see who you are, and I don't know if I want to be with that. Makes sense.
My ex-wife was controlling and quick to get angry with me, and I'm seeing the same habit now in Kimberly. And I'm not gonna take it that way.
I'm not gonna compromise with anybody. That doesn't sound good. Like you now, again, maybe we could be convinced that Usman's like, no. When she said she was falling in love with me, I was very clear that we were still friends. And although it was nice that she was falling in love with me, but, you know, I don't know. I could just maybe hear a story from him that would make sense. But the fact that at the very least he can't understand where she's coming from and recognize that at the very least he either mistakenly lied to her or mistakenly misled her or flat out did. The fact that he can't even see that right now is unfortunate.
You can't change that. But it's sad because I love him, though, you know? I don't understand if somebody could just tell me he loves me and then just like I feel like everything was a lie now, you know?
Yeah. And I'll commend her for being, I think, rational and expressing her emotions in a healthy way. Again, she's not falling into the traps that other people will on the show sometimes. Become destructive, become harmful, try to get revenge in a certain way. She's not doing any of that. She's not doing any of that. She's just telling him, I'm sad, and you know, you can keep the PS5. I don't want to put it in my bag, and you know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm hurt, and then I'm sad, and I'm gonna cry, and this sucks. Did he ever love me? You know, I think that's all very healthy. All right, well, I want to thank you for liking this video or any of my videos. It's super cool of you. And also for subscribing and hitting the bell and commenting. It helps out if you do that. But if you don't want to, that's also okay. It's up to you. It's a free country. It's a free YouTube platform. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.